This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mintz.
It was a murder, at least by sight alone. Detective Natasha Fitzgerald's first. She had never been the lead detective, and she had never been first on the scene. All of her training led her to this moment, one that she knew would be an inevitability. Police work was her calling, being a detective was her skill set. Protrusion in the chest with an exit wound in the neck, she said, into the receiver of her phone. On the other end was her partner, currently en route. Leave that for now and secure the scene. Remember your training, we wait for forensics to make the determinations, Detective Salisbury replied. This annoyed her. The training calls for us to conduct an initial assessment, she reminded him. I need to time-stamp preliminary observances so that they can be cross-checked. She had hoped her explanation would remind him of her excellence at the academy and that he was much more removed from the procedure of homicide discovery than she was. Let's talk offline, he replied, ending the call. She put her phone back in her pocket and continued to examine the body. A male, early to mid-40s. There was another puncture wound underneath the rib cage that she didn't notice at first. She took note of this discovery in her notepad and put a corresponding timestamp. She retrieved her phone once more and began to take pictures. Just basic, crude images with reduced light. The sole purpose was to preserve the body and its discovery in the first instance before the tainting of the crime scene from the boots and footsteps of her colleagues. She heard a car pull into the scene some 50 meters behind. She knew it was Salisbury. She had deliberately ignored his reminder to secure the scene before examination. This belligerence had played on her mind whilst she attempted to perform her duty. She hated that he had pulled rank at such a crucial moment of her career. She was distracted at precisely the wrong time. Salisbury made his way over, trudging through the weeds, pushing past the overhanging branches from the trees that surrounded the dense marsh. Training says we need to prioritize the examination of the scene first and foremost, she said, as he approached. Until forensics arrive, it's vital. She was kneeling next to the victim's right arm and taking photos of the incision marks that were suspicious. Salisbury said nothing, but drew his weapon. He clicked the safety off. Fitzgerald swiveled her head to face him. He was not looking at her. His instinct had him drawn to a far-off noise. They heard the wind over the trees and the screeching of a bird off in the distance. The waves crashed off the beach that was a kilometre away. After a beat, Salisbury broke his silence. "Draw your weapon, Fitzgerald," he instructed. "Mine's in the car," she said sheepishly. A twig cracked. They turned their heads in an easterly direction. A man with a ski mask and a handgun was tiptoeing over. His weapon was raised and pointed in their direction. Another twig cracked from behind. They swiveled their heads and were met with another man in another mask, a Halloween mask of a vampire with blood dripping from its plastic teeth molded into the foam. This person, too, was armed and pointing his weapon at the detectives. A third man, in a werewolf mask, unarmed but clearly the designated leader, approached a few meters back. He was walking with more confidence, happy to trudge on over, knowing that his movements were monitored by his colleagues, who were providing cover against the single weapon held by Detective Salisbury. "Drop the weapon," the wolf instructed. Salisbury did as he was asked. The armed men walked closer with an increase in speed. The ski mask-wearing man leaned into the left leg of the dead man. He knelt down, yet continued to point his weapon at the detectives. "Search him, the officers won't give you any trouble," said the wolf man. The ski mask wearer began to remove the Nike sneaker from the victim's foot. As he unfurled the ankle sock, A micro SD card fell to the leaf-littered floor. "I found something," the ski man said as he pocketed the item. "Check both feet and his anal cavities," instructed the wolf. The ski man looked up at his leader. "He's dead! He won't be offended," the wolf said. Salisbury looked down at his weapon, attracting the attention of the vampire man. "Put your hands up, now!" he yelled underneath the rubber. Salisbury did as instructed. So too did Fitzgerald. She was starting to shake uncontrollably. She had never been held against her will before. As a police officer with over 5 years of experience, she had never been in a situation against her control. Power was a drug, and one that she had come to take for granted. "These cops won't give us any trouble, Drac," said the wolf. "They will allow us to take what we need, and then they will do their investigations. Everybody wins. They get a fresh body for a fresh investigation, and we get the keys to the lost crypto," the wolf said, sending a message to both parties. "If there are any issues, then a price will be paid. These cops know that. However, if things go smoothly, perhaps there will be a reward. There is enough crypto to go around. Perhaps these two will be able to retire early, or at least comfortably. Who knows?" The ski man was rolling the victim over and removing his trousers. "Not much longer now, right, Ski?" asked Wolf. "Not much longer," said Ski with his hand between the cheeks of the victim. "Nothing here, boss." "How many keys do we have?" "Just one. The first one found in the left shoe." "Okay, let's roll out." The three villains began to trek away from the crime scene, walking backward one step at a time. "It's a beautiful day," said Wolf. "A nice fresh crime scene for you both to investigate, a lead or two in the form of whatever it is you've heard today. Assuming you don't give us any grief, perhaps a reward or two sent anonymously in a month. I know your call signs detectives, Salisbury and Fitzgerald. This is all good. Everybody is doing really great." They continued to step backward 1 foot at a time until they had progressed significantly away from the crime scene. Fitzgerald looked down at Salisbury's weapon. She wondered if she could duck down quick enough and let off the 3 shots needed to secure the perpetrators. She could wound all 3 from this distance. She was a champion marksman from the academy days. "Don't," said Salisbury. "I can make the shot," said Fitzgerald. He turned to her and gave her a look of scorn. "The first rule of a crime scene is you secure the area," he said through gritted teeth. Fitzgerald was ashamed. She looked away, her hands raised in the air to avoid the threat of being shot, yet secretly hoping a bullet would be let off and put her out of the bright red embarrassment that illuminated her face.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.